Hey, what's going on, everybody? Theta is up almost 40% off the bull market support band, something we talked a lot about. And let's see, what is that now? That is about 11 or 12 days ago. So let's go back and look at 11 or 12 days ago. So this is this video I came out I think 11 or 12 days ago actually. So this is 20 reasons to be bullish, and I'll speed it up really fast. By the way, if my videos are too long, all you got to do is just click playback speed and turn it up, and that way you can watch an hour-long video in only 30 minutes if you hit 2x. It might be a little hard to understand, so I like 1.25 to 1.75. So I'll start it right now.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today we see the price of theta reacting to the bull market support band, which is exactly as I thought it would, right? Nothing is ever a guarantee, but the probability of it happening was pretty high. And if you caught the last several videos, I've been talking about this for quite some time. And basically what we want to see is the price of theta continue to build support up and around the bull market support band. And that's exactly what we see happening. So when I zoom out, let's get a better picture here. We see something very nice right there. You can see, obviously, we came down in this correction. It could be a flat. I still think it is, right? A, B, and then we come down for C, right? You can see this wick right here. We wicked off the bottom of that bull market support band. We had a wave to the upside, and then we have this sort of three-wave correction to the downside. So when I look at it a little closer, one of the things I said in the other video is this could be either an ABC or a 1-2, which means 1, 2, and now we're getting ready for 3, 4, and 5, or this is an A, B, and now we're getting ready for C. Regardless, I think we got some upside to go. You can see this 3.
So yeah, regardless, it looks like we got some upside to go, and like I don't know that for sure, but the probabilities of it was pretty high, considering the fact that of all the reasons, right, 20 plus reasons, but more so in the short term, we had what? An impulse to the upside and a pullback into the bull market support band, but more importantly than that, right, we were still completing a Wickoff accumulation event. So, and then not only that, you had Bitcoin bullish as well. So, putting all these things together sort of led me down the path of, yeah, it's probably likely we're going to get a bounce. And then I didn't realize just how big of a bounce, because if you look at the rest of the market, Theta is actually one of the big winners today, which is a good thing to see.
Wave move here, 1, 2, 3, right? And at the end of that three-wave move, we had 3 daily candles in a row, 1, 2, 3, counting today, basically establishing a base or support on top of the bull market support band. So right there. So everything's looking good. If I turn the sequential on and I go, let's see, the 4-day chart, I think we almost had a 9 actually. We had an 8, right? But the count flipped, right? It got a little too bullish, a little too early.
And that was another thing. We almost had a 9, which told me, hey, we're probably going to reverse soon. We didn't get the 9, but it's okay.
Okay, it's still, it's still fine. What I really like is the 2-week chart. You can see right here, we have this 9 buy right here. You can see the arrow pointing up. If you don't know what a 9 buy means, it's basically this indicator right up here on the very top. TD sequential. I've talked about it many times if you're new to the channel. Basically, it's an exhaustion indicator, right? So you don't want to use it alone. You want to use it in conjunction with other indicators, right? Like RSI, MACD, Elliott wave, right? And your basic support resistance and things like that. So we can see, in this instance, we had a 9 buy on the 2-week chart in the middle of the spring phase. So if I zoom out here, you can see this whole thing right here is a Wickoff accumulation schematic. And basically what that means is the price is finding support and it's ranging inside of a base. And what that means is buyers are accumulating, otherwise known as the smart money, right?
So there you go. Buyers are accumulating, and I still believe buyers are accumulating. And so let's keep going a little bit.
You don't really feel the fear and the anxiety and the uncertainty because you're weighing your risk and the probability that we are going into sometime into an uptrend or at least a retracement. And why I really like this 9 is because look at this. If you were following this indicator alone, you had a 9 buy right here. Price came down, right? Took a little while. But once it passed these red dots, it activated. And look at this. The 9 sell right here. This candle, let me highlight it, called the exact top of the Theta bull run, which is absolutely remarkable. So let me zoom out here. You can see this candle right here called the exact top. And it was pretty remarkable, right? I mean, they don't always work out. And then also, like for example, if the 9 occurred here, I wouldn't really take it too serious because look, you had it.
Well, that's good. So let me fast forward the video a little bit, and then we'll start it right about here.
So here's your short term. Now you can see, you can look at this and say, this is bearish, this is a shoulder, this is a head, and this is a shoulder. Yeah, it could be. It could be. Or it could be an A, B, C, backtest the bull market support band, continue higher. Now, one thing I've always said is, if we lose the bull market support band, by the way, XRP lost its bull market support band. It sucks, but at the same time, it's a totally different chart, by the way. But I've said many times, Theta has a lot of wiggle room. So if we do break below, it's okay. Why? Why is it okay? Because look at this. You see this right here? Boom, resistance. Boom, resistance. Boom, resistance. This is resistance right here. So look at the price. We broke above the resistance. So now the price could come all the way down, right? So either number one, the price can come down and backtest the resistance to make it support and then continue. Or the price can go up, then down and backtest the resistance, then go up. A, B, C, right? In which case the B wave is going to get everybody bullish. Oh my God, we're going to the moon. But bam, right back down.
And we're going to talk about all that. We're going to talk about all that too. So, you know, obviously we could backtest that. We didn't, right? But what we did do, which is to me more important, is we were back testing the bull market support band. So, but what I was talking about here, in the event that we lose it, I was saying we have wiggle room. So if we did come back down, then, you know, that 64 to 85 cent area would be considered a back test, right? Another back test of that lower range. But right now, the price is bullish. Could it be an ABC? We'll talk about it.
It'll be fine. Why? Because it's an ABC. It's a corrective move. This is an impulsive move. I mean, impulse. This is corrective, right? So if we do lose the bull market support, it's still fine. Now, where's our last line in the sand? Obviously, it would be at the bottom here, right? But more importantly, I would say around that 64 cent area. We really want to hold this area. So this zone right
Okay, so that's about it. Okay, let's go back to the price. Here we go. So that was about this time right over here. And since then, I mean, look at that. I mean, that's beautiful. That is a beautiful, beautiful sight to see. So now we're going to talk about what is happening and what could potentially happen. So basically for me, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a Fibonacci and I'm going to pull it all the way down, and I'm going to see exactly where we are. So we came right, this is very, very good. We came right up to the 786 and we got rejected. But that's fine, because why? We cleared through the 50. We cleared through the 618. And most important to me, we cleared the 702. That's a big area for me. So this is the 3-day chart. Let's go down to the daily chart. And there we go. We have a bullish engulfing candle. So on today's candle, right? So the candle, the time of recording this video, has about 3 hours left. So we want to see that candle close above $1.28. For the bullish case, for the bullish idea, the bullish scenario that I'm about to tell you. So we have, so there we go. There's the 702. I'm going to put one more right about there. And that's the 786. So I'll take this off and I'll say, hey, we are right in that retracement level. We did clear all of this, which is good. So now we're right there. That last line is about $1.32, $1.33 area. So we're right there. So if we can close above that today, then the probability of an ABC is not likely anymore. So here's the ideas right here. And I've been talking about this for a lot of time. So here we go. So this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we have an A. This is B. Then we come down for C. And we can backtest this area or even this area. Or we can retest the bull market support band, go sideways, then continue up like a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways, blast off. So that's the idea there. So that's the idea. So A, B, C, Now C can go here, C can go here, C can go here, C can, it really depends. But if we can clear that 786, which we did clear the 702, so the fact that we cleared the 618 decreased the probability of an ABC. The fact that we cleared the 702 further decreased the probability. So, the fact that we cleared the 50, the 618, the 7, now the day's not over, right? We can have a big sell-off and close the day back at the 618. We just don't know, right? But it looks like it's pretty bullish. If I zoom in even further to the 4-hour chart, let's see if we have a 9. We have an 8. So we are approaching a 9. That doesn't on the TD sequential. That doesn't mean we're going to sell off or it's going to reverse. It just could mean that, hey, be cautious. The next candle could be a 9. We can maybe have a little pullback, then a continuation, or we can have a straight up reversal. Now, if the reversal occurs, then that tells me that we are probably doing that idea that I just stated, which is ABC, or rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways blast off. So let's talk about that. If we do the rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, which is kind of what I'm leaning towards at the moment, unless we can break out of here, which is right here. So you can see we had a shoulder, kind of a head, another shoulder. We broke out. Okay, fine. So we can pull back, continue going, and we'll talk about that, the bull count. Or we can do this. Like I said, rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways, blast off. But then more important than that, right, is what it's doing if it does that. So here's our range right in here. We broke out of the range. Now we can come all the way back down and back test the range, consolidate a little bit, then continue higher. Because if you look, right, what was I also saying? Not that the video I showed was 11 days ago, but the earlier videos I said this could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we can get 5, right? Or it could be an A, B, C, and then we come down, then we go, right? So that's that type of situation. What am I leaning towards? Well, it's kind of hard to say because, again, remember, if we are in the retracement levels, it's very hard to know what's going to happen. So here's the other idea. The other idea says we're not coming down into a C leg. We're not going down into reaccumulation. We're not going down into a back test of this area. No, all we're doing is a 1, 2, all of this is 3, 4, and now we're in 5. Okay, so 5, so it would sort of look like this. So we have a 1, 2, and then all of this is 3 right there, and then we have an A, B, C in the middle, a big one, which proportion wise it kind of is off proportional wise. 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, and now we're in that 5th wave. So I'm not leaning towards that one totally, just because of the proportions between the 4th wave and how this wave is, unless it's like this: 1, 2, all of this is 3, 4, and now we're getting 5. So instead of 4 being an ABC, instead of 4 being a flat, we just have this correction right here, maybe an ABC, something like that, right? So either way you look at it, this is exactly what we've been talking about. This is exactly a bullish thing. Now, we do have the potential, right, for a head and shoulder. So we have a shoulder, we have a head, and now it could be developing another shoulder. So if that's the case, right, then the bearish scenario, which is backtesting this 85-cent area, or retesting the bull market support band, or worst case, between 63, 64. So I would say between 60 and 85 cents, right? So again, like I said in the previous videos, we got a lot of wiggle room if this is going to turn bearish. So those are the ideas, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. 4, which is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And then we also have A, B, C. We come down here and then we go. Or we have rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways, blast off. And if I had to pick any of those between, breaking out of here, or ABC, or rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways, blast off, I would probably pick that one, because it's sort of in the middle, right? It's sort of in the middle. Now, if we do break out, then, right, it's all about what happens in the retracement levels, because that's the most difficult thing to know when looking at TA, is what happens at the retracement levels. Now, when we were down here, it was easier to gauge. Why? Because we were coming off of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We were coming into the bull market support band. Then we were consolidating bottom, double bottom, right? So in my previous video 11 days ago, I said, hey, it's good probability we got to go up. Now that we're up here, now it's like, okay, now what's going to happen? Because now we're in the retracement levels. We are high in the retracement levels. We passed the 702. So let's talk about that. So if I zoom in, let's go to the 4-hour. And we'll take all that off here. There's your EMA ribbon right there. So it's essentially a ribbon of moving averages. So here we go. So we could see a channel in here. Actually, let me take that off. We can see a channel in here. And obviously that channel broke out. So we can come back down and retest the top of the channel and then continue higher, right? What else? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. So that's an A, B. And then we have 1, 2, maybe this is 3, 4, 5, and that's an A, B, C, right? What else could it be? Well, we hope that it's a 1, 2, all of this is 3, and now we're getting 4 and then 5, right? And that fifth wave can break us out of this area here, which is right in here. So we want to break this area right here. So the big question is, right, is this an A, B, C into the retracement? Now we're coming down into an A, B, C, and then continue higher? Or is it rise, crash, retrace coming in here, which is what I'm sort of leaning to? Because the reason why is because that situation that idea, number one, it gives us a pullback. Number two, it allows us to backtest this base. And number three, it's still, we have a low and we have a higher low. If we come down in here, right, and backtest $1.09, $1.08 area, it allows the oscillators to cool off, right? And it allows the price to accumulate and then continue going. It also looks like a cup and handle, right? So there's a lot of reasons why, you know, you kind of, you're a bull boy or a bear boy, but you kind of want to be conservative somewhere right in the middle of all of that. So there you go. That's what's happening with the price of theta. Now this doesn't change anything that we've been talking about for the big structure, because if you zoom out, this is where, now this right here, this is where things get interesting. This is where things get interesting, because now we established all that stuff, right? It could be a number of different things, right? But maybe a little pullback, that's all I'm asking for, and then a continuation, or even a pullback, a little bit of consolidation, then continue higher, right? Again, worst case scenario would come down for a C leg, right? So we come up, we go boom, 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 then we go, and that's fine. All of those options are totally, totally fine, right? And it changes nothing from the overall grand thesis since going back over here, which is ultimately a retracement back into these levels. So somewhere up in there. Now, I've had many videos why I believe that's going to happen. Today's price action just gave me more validation and confidence in that, although it is a little nervousness in a little bit because we are at the retracement level. I would really like us to break it. Now, the good thing here, if I scoop up a little bit, you can see this daily candle right here is currently above this 3-day candle close and this 3-day candle close, right? So it's above the closes of these candles, which is good. So we have one more to go, which is this one, and then obviously actually two more to go, and then this one over here. So when you zoom out, this to me is looking much better, much better for Wickoff accumulation. But before we talk about that, look at what's staring you smack in the face. I mean, can anybody see it? I mean, come on. It is like screaming, this is a shoulder. This is a head. And now it looks like we have basically 99% completed the inverse head and shoulders, which is an amazing thing to see, right? Now, granted, it could come down a little further. You could see this here, right? This was a shoulder, but then look, it came back up and then it came down. So like an A, B, C. So we can have an A, B, C, and it would still be valid for the shoulder, because if you look how big this shoulder is, it's pretty big compared to how big this shoulder is, which is good because that's buying us time, it's buying us more structure, right? So if we did come down here and then go, it would still be a shoulder like that, right? So a shoulder, a head, and another shoulder. It would be nice for this to just come down a little bit, then break out, back test, then continue on. And now we'll talk about that. So taking everything off the screen. So something like this, right? Now, before I bring that up, you can see the RSI is starting to get into overbought territory. The good thing is we took out the bullish divergence, but we also have hidden bullish divergence, which is a little slightly different. You could see here, And this doesn't mean anything. It just means, hey, maybe a pullback, right? Maybe that ABC, or maybe that reaccumulation phase, right? Because if you look here, going from here all the way down, but this one is coming sideways, right? You can see this is going down, but this is going sideways. If it was actually higher, then it would be going, this is going up, this is going down. So bearish divergence, right? But I mean, come on, that's to be expected. If you went up, let's see, if I put it from this wick here all the way up, that's about 50%. So, I mean, come on, you got to give theta a little bit of breathing room. I mean, it just gave you a 50% move. Of course, it doesn't look like much, but that's actually a lot of money. The market cap went up quite a bit. I mean, think about it. The market cap went up 50% from where it was. That's a big thing right there. So it deserves either a pullback or some type of correction, right? Now, obviously, it doesn't have to happen. It really depends. We can get a small pullback, right? If I zoom out a little bit, we can get a 1, 2, 3, and then a little 4, and then a 5, right? And that could all be what it needs, right? Or it can be a little bit bigger, and it can, come down here and backtest this area, 1, 2, 3, and then kind of be a little bit bigger, and then sort of round out again in here, right? And that would be, more of a larger correction, which would definitely cool off the RSI and the oscillators, and then we would be getting ready to gear up, and you can see a cup and handle in there too. You don't have to go flat in here. It could be a V bottom, right? It could be, there's a many different ways it could happen. All I'm saying is, just be cautious of that. But also, when you zoom out, there's nothing to be bearish about. So a lot of the misconception is, like, for example, if someone on YouTube is saying, hey, I'm bearish, that doesn't mean the long-term bearish. That could mean the short-term, right? I mean, the confusing part about how to interpret the analysis is the sentiment on what time frame are you referring to. Now, on the big time frame, the one that everybody cares about, the one that, if you're a hodler and an investor, the only thing to you that would probably matter, right, is the long-term trajectory of the price. So the reason why a hodler would like the short-term price action is because of DCAing, right? So for example, if I'm dollar cost averaging, I probably wouldn't buy it right now, right? Even though I'm bullish and I think it's going to get up here. But when you zoom in, we could probably have a little pullback coming, right? So let's turn on the Wickoff accumulation, right? Something, again, I've been talking about quite a bit. And so we have this move to the upside, move to the downside that took out the low. Same thing here. We have a move to the upside. We have a move to the downside that took out that low. Then we have this move to the upside that did not take out this high. So same thing here. We have this move to the upside that did not take out that high. And then the important part to me is the spring phase. So then we kind of gradually move our way down, and then we take out this low and we take out this low. Same thing here. We gradually move down and we take out this low here and this low over here, right? And then we sort of meander in here a little bit. So a little consolidation in there, same thing in here, a little consolidation, right? And then what do? And then we have a sharp impulse off the bottom. Same thing here. We have a sharp impulse off the bottom. And this green circle here is probably maybe where we are at now. If not, then we are probably right here. So this area right here. So we could be here or here, right? Now this price right here, this is just an example, right? It's not clear cut and dry. There's always variations. But this example here has the price consolidating above this high, right? This is a little bit below the high, and it definitely is below this high too. So let's talk about that. So you can see right here, we have this move up, then a pullback, then a continuation. So same thing potentially here. We have this move up, this pullback, and now we have probably a continuation. So here's the thing. Now I'm going to tie in, remember all the ideas I had at the beginning. So this is where it gets tied in. So if we continue to pump up into a fifth wave, right, and we break out, there's a little pullback, or not the ABC when we come down here, or maybe not even the rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation where we come down here, but rather just a little pullback, right, and then a continuation up, then that tells me we're probably not at that green circle yet. Then once we get to that green circle, right, or once we break out of all of this, then we sort of do this and then go, right? So the green circle right here would be this area right here, and this circle here would be the circle we're at now, right? So you see 1, 2, 3 circles, 1, 2, 3 circles. So it could be something like that. Now, if we are already at the green circle, basically that last sort of consolidation phase at the top of the resistance before you ultimately break out, right? So, let me actually put the lines down here. Right, so you have 2 lines on the bottom, 2 lines at the top. I can actually move this one here, right? So now it's starting to make sense. You can see this is above both of the lines. This is not. So maybe we're at this circle right here, right? So the way we can tell is if we start breaking out. Now, if I take all that off and I just say, hey, look at this. What if we do this, A, B, C, something like this, or like maybe a flat and we kind of go sideways, maybe a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, and then we go. Something like that. Well, then if it does that, then that tells me this is the green circle area. So all of this, right, would just be the same as this, because you could see here when it gets to the resistance, you can see, let me zoom in real close. You can see we get up to the resistance, we pull back 1, we go up 2, 3, then we go. So it's kind of like an A, B, C, or a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, right? So if we get that rise, crash, that's another reason I'm kind of rooting for it, is because if we do get that rise, crash, reaccumulation. So let me take, now that we know the Wickoff, let me take everything off and just show you here. So if we do come down and then we go sideways and then we go, then it's most likely, right, we're at that final phase. So I'm not sure, either number one, so this is where everything gets tied together in my previous ideas, right, which is A, B, C, go, which would be that probably that green circle area. But if we continue to pump, then then we get that green circle area, then we go. So whatever happens, I'm just, it doesn't really matter. The point is the direction we're going is bullish, right? But on the macro, on the big time frames, it looks very bullish, because if you pull a Fibonacci, and I'll just do it from the base of the candle. I won't even go to the wick. We'll just say we'll do it from the base. I mean, we're nowhere even near that 382, let alone the 50 and the 618. So, we got open air in here, and you can see from here, right, to about here. It's just that's what I call no man's land, right? That's no man's land. If we see how we sliced right down through it, once we break this line, we're gonna slice right up to it. There's no resistance in here. You can see there, and that's what maybe you guys know VPR, the volume, or is it VPR? Volume profile, right? Where you basically take somewhere, I'm not educated in that, but where there's a lot of volume in certain price areas, right? So you can see a lot of volume in here, right? You could see a lot of volume in here. Profile, right? A lot of price action. But look at here. Look at this. From here to here, we sliced right through it. From here down to here, we sliced right below it. We had a little bit of a chop in here, but nothing significant. Which means what? Which means when we break out of this yellow range, we're probably going to slice right through it and get right up here. So it'll look like something like this, depending what happens in here. We break out, maybe a little back test, and then we get up here, right? And then we get to the retracement levels, and then the big question becomes, okay, now what's going to happen? Now it becomes bigger, because essentially this whole thing is just a smaller version, or I'm sorry, a bigger version than to where we are now. So for example, right, rise, crash, sideways, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways, blast off. So basically rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, blast off. Okay, so if I zoom all the way in, it's essentially the same thing, right? Just a bigger thing. And all TA is just like a fractal of a smaller thing, a bigger thing, right? So basically, on the zoomed out chart, we're right about here. So look what happened on this chart right here. This is a zoomed in area. So you had this base, you had a breakout, then you had a crash, but then you had this base here, and now we went into a retrace, right? And that's exactly what I thought would happen. Now, if you zoom all the way out, that's exactly what's happening on the bigger time frames, just bigger, right? So it's the same thing. We have this base down here, right? And then we have this base down here, right? Rise, crash, retrace, something like that, or a continuation, or worst case ABC, then go, right? So zooming in again, draw it one more time here, right? So you had your base right here, another base right here. So yeah, and then I mean it looks pretty good, right? It looks almost not identical, but the structure is the same. Sideways, bull, bear, sideways, retrace. Same thing here. Sideways, bull, bear, sideways, retrace. So yeah, so if we did it on the smaller time frame, we can do it on the bigger time frame. It's just going to take longer. It's going to take longer to do it. But looking at this price, man, it looks primed. I mean, I'm giving you my honest opinion. It looks primed, right? That doesn't mean we can't, in the short term, pull back, and maybe we do pull back into the bull market support band, right? So, and that's another thing too, is the bull market support band is going down, right? And now it's angled up. As it's angled up, we get a back test, right? So now it's going up, 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 right? So if we come back down, what do we have to catch us? Our friend, the bull market support band. The friend is your trend, right? The trend is your friend. So the bull market support band is your support. So if we come down, we can hold again. We come down again, we hold it again. And the more times it tests it, actually the better it is, right? Well, you don't want to test it too much, right? But we got a good test here. If we come down and we test it again, that will be like a test and then a higher low. And if we did it again, right, that would be a 1 2 1 2. That would be very bullish, because that would be a 1 2 1 2, and that would set us up for a big wave. So at the moment, all we have is a 1 2, right? But the 2 can be like this, the 2 can be like this, or the 2 can just go. So and go into a third. So we have to wait and see. So I think that's about it right there. I mean, you can see if I put this channel here, I mean, we've broken out of this thing, this bull flag here. And this is another reason to be bullish. If I take this just for fun, if I take it down, let's take it to about there, and I'll put it right about there. I mean, that looks like a massive bull flag. And then I take this and I can put it right about there where we tested it. And that gives us a target of roughly about almost 60 bucks. And that lines up with that full extension. So the 4.236, right? It comes right up in there. So right in that area, right? The top end being about 63, 64, and then the low end being about 24 to 34. So if this is looking forward, right? This is saying, hey, once we break out of here, not tomorrow or next day or even next month. This is down the road. So we have to see what happens here, because it's each section you have a cross point, right? A cross section. What's going to happen? Do we go down? Do we go up? If we go down, then we're going to go back up. If we go up, then we go up, right? So then there's another cross section here. What happens here? Do we continue to go down, right, and then go up, right? No, I don't think that. My whole thing is, let's get back up here and then we'll talk about it. But usually when we get back up here, we pull back. And this is a range here. That range. We pull back into that range, we bounce around, then we go. So something like this. And that's usually how it happens. So that's it for me. Just a word of caution here, which would be Bitcoin, right? So now Theta is everything it should be. So Theta came to the party, Theta came prepared. Now Bitcoin has to take it home, right? So as long as it stays above the bull market support band, as long as it stays relatively healthy. Now, I do think a pullback is coming. I think we're at the top here for Bitcoin as far as a retracement goes, because If you look at theta, where's theta at? Theta is down here. Theta is actually right here. So look at that. Actually, that's a very good thing to say right here. So check out Bitcoin. We had a bull market, we had a bear market. And then look what happened. We broke above the bull market support band and we back tested it. And then we shot up. Okay. That's exactly what theta has done. We had a bull market, we had a bear market, we went sideways. Look at this. We broke above the bull market support band, we back tested it, and now we're starting to pump. So let's look at Bitcoin as our cheat sheet. So if you look at Bitcoin, what did it do? It's right here. Here's what Bitcoin did right here. So it went up, right? It had this sort of this little A, B, C in here, right? A, B, C, and then it shot up. And it shot up pretty big, and then it sort of consolidated, then it tested it again, then it pumped up again. Right? Just like how I, look at theta. Same potential thing, right? It had this little A, B, C, and now it's pumping up. So if I were to draw it like Bitcoin, we would see something like this, right? And then a little drizzle down, and then another pump. Something like that. So, yeah. Because right now, Bitcoin is sitting at it just got rejected by the 702. So, man, that's like, and then we also have a doji, right? We also have a doji. So, and then the 5-day candle is about to end in 2 hours, right? So, the sequential, yeah, it's looking pretty bearish for Bitcoin. So, you can see we're right in this area in here, little thing here. So maybe come back up here. And like I've been saying with Bitcoin, we want to find a range in here, right? Just like how we found a range in here, and just like how we found a range down in here. So we got to the top of the range. Maybe we go higher. Maybe we break out into a new all-time high. That would be amazing. But statistically, we got to chill out for a little bit before we do that. Or we do this, and then we come down here, and then we go. Something like that. Because if you look back over here, base 1, base 2, base 3. Right there. So same thing here. Base 1, base 2, base 3. So you guys know, for me, right? I mean, looking at theta, when did theta moonshot? Theta moonshot when Bitcoin was already done. Bitcoin going up, 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 up. Once it stopped and went sideways, that's when theta shot up to the upside. So that's the same thing that could potentially happen here. Not for a full bull market, but for a theta retracement. So now Bitcoin goes up, 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 up. And now if it goes sideways, it gives a chance for theta to catch up. Right? Yeah, because you could see here, look at this we got a little pump right now, right? And you could see theta is pumping, but look at Bitcoin. It's sort of doing nothing, right? So if we come down and make a little base right here, let's say we come down and then come back up and then come down a little bit and then come back up, come down, come back up. Kind of like over here, maybe not that long, but same thing here. We come down, we went up, then we come back down a little bit, and then once Bitcoin goes back up, boom, we're off to the races, and we can get a big pump in here, right? Until we get back to this area. Because if you look here, that first move down, and then you have this little hump right here. Same thing with theta. You have this first move down, and then you have that hump right there, right? So, right, let me actually highlight it. So this little hump right here, that's where Bitcoin is. This little hump right here, that's where theta needs to get. right? So Bitcoin actually hit right about there above it. So that would be for theta. Where would that be for theta? That would be about, hold on one second. That would be right about up in here somewhere between $4 and $8. So somewhere in here. And that's where I think we're heading, right? So there you go. I'm not trying to make have it too long of a video, but that's where we are. So again, for the short term, zoom in, 2-hour chart, zoom out, we could see this thing go like this. We could see an ABC then go. We could see a double bottom of the bull market support band, higher low, then go. Or we can just have a little pullback, then go. So either way, 1, 2, 3, it all depends. Now, statistically, we probably will have a big pullback because Bitcoin looks like, again, I think it's topped. There's a good chance that Bitcoin has completely topped, not like forever, but because of its retracement levels, right? So if Bitcoin's topped in its retracement levels, then we should get a knockback. If we get a knockback, then we should have, a correction for theta, right? But the good thing is theta just went up, 20-30%. So now it has even more wiggle room for a correction before a continuation. So let's see Bitcoin come down, right? Establish its range. Then once it establishes the range, then it oscillates back to the upside. Then that means theta can finally break out, because theta's like right here compared to the Bitcoin chart, right? So we're right there. So now, if you look at total 3, you could see, it kind of broke out a little bit, right? But the thing is, we haven't really tested that bull market support band. So if this, like I was saying earlier, turns into an A, B, C, a flat, and then we can go, that down move correlates with Bitcoin, correlates with potentially theta, right? Or some pullback, right? So again, theta could easily just have a small pullback and rip to the upside, or to me it looks like it has to do something like this and then go and back test this little area down here. So a 1, 2, 3, 4, or better yet, a 1, 2, then go. So there you go. That's it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for listening. If it is a head and shoulders, so be it. It's not too bad, because if we do come down, again, we have wiggle room. So somewhere around that 66 area, and then I would look at that as a buy the dip opportunity, right? If that came all the way down here into an ABC, and I could pull the extension on it just for fun. So I'll take this, and I'll take it from the top of here. I'll go all the way to the bottom, and then I'm going to come all the way back to the top. So here's your extensions. If we were to come down, right, we can hit the 702, 786, 886, or the 1-to-1, and then the 1.272 is right about 63 cents. So I would say right about here if it wants to be really bearish. Short term, long term, still very bullish. But yeah, this is a good day. This is a very good day. I mean, come on. Theta went up approximately about 15% today. It's currently about 10%, but that's okay. It's a pullback is normal. If I zoom in really small, let's go to like the 90-minute chart. Yeah, you could see, we have these areas in here, right here. So all these areas, consolidate, breakout, consolidate, breakout, consolidate, breakout. So we can come all the way down, and maybe consolidate, breakout, or come down, consolidate, back test, then go. Or this is the reversal before the bigger move up. So if you guys could, that would be awesome. If you could leave a like and a comment and hit that subscribe button, I'd really appreciate a channel like mine trying to get it to go and see what happens for me. And you know, it helps me continue to stay motivated in doing this. You know, because again, they're not little 10-minute videos. They're actually, you know, it's like doing 6 10-minute videos in once. And I usually end up being about an hour. But again, if you want, I mean, what I do is I speed up the video. Just go to YouTube and hit the settings part and go 1.25, 1.5, 1.75, and just freaking speed it up. And you can get a whole hour video in 30 minutes, right? Yeah, that'll be it for me. I appreciate you guys, and I will catch you on the next one. Cheers.